Good evening, race fans, and welcome to PSGL's F11 Championship. Uh, Great to have everybody starting to join us already. My name is Webbo. I'll be your commentator this evening, and just about every week, I believe. But yes, we're here for a race around the Cathedral of Speed, Monza in Italy, for the next round of our championship, round 6. Championship situation right now. We have FaZe Max leading the championship, though I believe, unfortunately, FaZe Max will not be around tonight to defend his championship lead. FaZe Max currently on 48 points with 2 wins, and he will not be here for. Excuse me, it's the 5th round, isn't it, of the championship? So I've written the wrong title. Never mind. So fifth title, fifth race of the season. Second in the championship is Jibuk, our host for the evening, with 33 points, having got 2 wins and a non-start and a non-finish. So looking to make a good move up, potentially to the top tonight if he can put in a strong points performance. Hey to Matty Gomez in the chat, nice to have you with us. Huberto Mancini is third in the championship with 27 points, with 2 second places and some lower order finishes. And then we have Salad in the Red Bull, just 1 point behind on 26 points. He is currently 4th, with Vapor Shadow in the Williams on 16 points in 5th place. When it comes to the championship for constructors, as you would expect, given the top 2 in the drivers' championship are racing for Mercedes. Mercedes have the lead right now on 60 points. 48 points is Aston Martin, with all the points scored by FaZe Max. Then Red Bull are 3rd with 36 points, and Williams are 4th with 26, with Joni Mater and Vapor Shadow as their drivers. So I will try and update you as we finish assembling our grid tonight. Just one moment, I've been asked a question by the host, so I better just answer that one, otherwise I'll be in trouble. Here we go. And so in terms of our attendance tonight, I did mention our championship leader, FaZe Max, won't be with us tonight. Other drivers who have been unable to secure their seat for this evening would be Liam13, usual host of the evening and league coordinator, Jimmy Allen for Alfa Romeo, and Joni Mater in the Williams. Then the reserve driver, BMW Oosterveer, can't make it either, and I think Wout Bonner can't make it, but we shall see if anybody else joins. I think Franco has made a return because hopefully his fans are here. Tell me if you're here for Franco, because we've been missing Franco and his fan club for a couple of races. And hey to Ryanma in the chat. Thank you for the compliment again. Always good to have you on with us. And Antonio, is there Yarno? I believe we have a Yarmo. So you can look forward to watching Yarmo tonight. Good luck to all of our drivers getting going in Monza, of course, and yeah, looking forward to getting going with this one. It's in leagues that I've commentated on elsewhere. Monza has always been the joker in the pack, the one with the biggest drama. And I think this is not unusual. I think it tends to breed issues and problems and crashes and safety cars and all kinds of amazing occurrences. But don't worry, this will not be a place where you'll find spoilers for today's race. I know some people have to watch it on delay. Some people are far too busy practicing their driving ahead of a league race. So I won't provide you with any spoilers, but yes, we're about to get going. Is this build different than F1 is a question I've got on the chat. No, the build is not different to the F1 Championship. The only difference in build currently is, I believe, for the esports build, which is updated on PC. So all the PlayStation divisions and tiers are all racing on the same edition of the game and the same build. That's my understanding anyway. If you think you know something different, do let me know. Vapor Shadow, fairly normal for him, one of the first out of the pits, so we'll do him the honour of following him along. And yeah, Lightning's here just to help out here. So saying that a good friend of mine, Lightning, saying that we are due a new build on Tuesday. I think it's just rumours at this stage that Portimao will arrive, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. So Vapor Shadow out there on his own can hopefully get a safe banker in. We've got, I think, one of the McLarens has come out as well. Is that Florian? So Florian's out there. Looks like we're going to have 13 starters for the race, so place your bets now. How many finishers will we get at the end of the race? There is a prize of extreme kudos if you get that guess correct during qualifying, and all of our praise. But here comes Vapor Shadow then, heading out through Ascari. One of the most dangerous curves in the game is the exit curve for Ascari, or so it seems for our drivers. Okay, our first bet from Ryan has come in as 8 finishes. I've seen less than 8, I have to tell you. So let's see what we get in the end. We're only starting with 13 tonight, unfortunately. But here comes Vapor Shadow then, screaming down the start-finish straight, hitting VMAX shortly before the 150 meter board, and braking relatively early, getting good apex through Rettifilia, and now it's on to Curva Grande. Buenos to any of our Italian fans or drivers tonight at their home race. Getting the car stopped down for Variante della Roggia. All looking quite smooth so far through into Lesmo 1, missing the apex significantly. There's a little bit of banking on these. I wouldn't say banking, maybe just given the banking that's on the old sections of the circuit, just a little bit of positive camber that helps the car through, which is pretty cool. Now up to the dreaded Ascari. A nice large amount of entry apex, and you can see Vapor Shadow getting the car nice and settled before he presses the accelerator anywhere near that exit curb, and Vapor Shadow then pushing for the line. We hear Ryan Ma had a 119.1 last night in quali, so let's see how our F11 drivers compare. Their assists are allowed in F11, so bear that in mind when you're comparing yourself. Vapor Shadow then with a 119.7, so that's the first time out there. I know Florian was next, so let's follow with Florian in the McLaren. McLaren looking beautiful in the Italian sunshine. And a 119.8 for Florian. I think, have we got, is that Jamie? Yeah, about to cross the line, just starting a lap. Who else is out there actually on a lap? It's Franco. Let's follow Franco. Keep the fans happy. RO8 Racing's here watching as well, so hey to you. I know you under another name, but I recognise the avatar, of course. Good to have friends following and enjoying the racing. Franco then heading towards Ascari, just climbing the hill, such as there are hills in Monza. I think only 12 metres of elevation change through the whole lap. But Franco heading now towards Parabolica Alboreto. I'm going to call it both names tonight, because I just can't shake off Parabolica. I don't know about everybody else. Franco then heading for the line, hugging that inside line, and a 120.2 for Franco. We've seen Jibuk go provisional pole on a 19.6. Bobby Enro, I think it's Enro, in 5th place, and Franco at the tail of the time lapse so far. I think perhaps Yamo had an issue, and I think Tsunoda's got a bit of a tyre warm-up situation going on as well. So we'll follow along with Salad, who's on a lap. Salad doing nicely in the championship as well. Yeah, good spot from Ryan. Ryan says Franco's on the medium, so a medium run on a 20.2. Significant penalty for running the medium, but of course an advantage. Excuse me, on race strategy. Salad down to 5th gear, just getting the car into the apex of Parabolica Alporetto, and we head down then to the line. A new pole position lap potentially for Toss My Salad on a 1:19.421, 2/10 faster than Jibuk's time. Out there we've got, I think, is it Tsunoda on a hot lap at the moment? He is, I think he was running a charge lap or a warm-up lap on the mediums. So Tsunoda, spectacular. Vapor Shadow, a lot of respect to Vapor Shadow, who's running his first league race with no traction control. Now that is, not only is that brave, it's borderline crazy to do that in Monza, but maybe it's one of his favourite tracks. Tsunoda getting the car into Lesmo 1. And away we go down the back straight towards Ascari. Very slow first lap for Tsunoda. Is that too much to get an invalidation? It's not. He's going to ride out. Oh, he lost it on the way through the second part of Ascari. Just about saved it back. So this one, I guess he'll look to be the highest medium runner. That would be his aim at this point. So he's looking to beat 1:20.2 of Franco. But that moment in Ascari, I think, cost him, yeah, a 20.3, so slightly slower. Let's follow Matti. Then I think Matti is heading towards Parabolica. He's got Jarmo just warming up the tyres ahead, so didn't really get much of a tow or a block from Jarmo, being pretty fair. So in the Alpine then, Matti for the line, a 20.393 on softs. I'm pretty sure he can go a little bit better than that. So let's follow along with Huberto Mancini as he crosses the line into pole position immediately at 1:19.296, and that's a near perfect banker lap for him. What about Florian? He's on an outlap. I think his teammate might be out there also on an outlap. So we'll try and find you a driver attacking the racetrack. I think Tsunoda's on his way in. That time looked a little bit slow. Matti, we know, has just set a time. So Jarmo then in the Haas has got a purple first sector, but remember, the first time laps for any of the drivers on the spectator graphic always recognises purple, always registered purple, I should say, and unfortunately there's nothing we can really do about that. Just get everybody to get their first lap on the board. Perhaps a slightly early turn in to Ascari for Jarmo, and struggles around on the exit. Was that a tyre on the exit of Ascari? Have we lost? Is that where we lost Jamie? I think it is. So Jamie will not qualify tonight. He will have to start from the back. And Jarmo cutting it very fine on the exit of Parabolica, but be good to register a time at least. And wow, I didn't see that one coming. A 1:19.1 after that moment in Ascari. So I think Jarmo's got even more time to find, and he'll be feeling confident he can secure pole position tonight with a lap like that. Florian about to cross the line, but invalidated, so that won't count. And same issue with Enro as well. No qualification on this lap due to that invalidation earlier on. So out there at the moment, Franco is about to start his lap in the AlphaTauri. So let's ride with car 79, Franco. And it was Jamie. He did lose it in Ascari, and the marshals have sorted out his car but left his wheel on the runoff area on the exit of Ascari. So looking slow for Franco through the first chicane, but sometimes it just looks that way on the exit of the Retifilia. In fact, yeah, look, he's got purple. So again, slightly early turn in, but and just had to relax the steering slightly there. So into Lesmo 1. Not looking completely hooked up, but maybe he's ready for the race, and he absolutely bossed Lesmo 2, and that's the one that really counts on the long drag up the hill. He gets a tiny little toe off the back of Jarmo's car, and then into Ascari. Yeah, looks like he's got those tyres just perfect, and a nice line through there. So one more corner, one more tiny braking area to go for Franco, and this should see him much further up the grid than his current time that was set on mediums. So Franco then for the line for his fans, for Argentina. Vamos, and straight up to P3 for Franco. Beautiful lap from Franco. That looked good at 19.4. Gearbook won't go any faster with an invalidation. The Vapor Shadow then, no traction control for the first race for him, and he's up on his first time, so looking to get the Williams further up the grid. Be doing this on his own tonight because his teammate's not here to help in the Constructors' Championship, which is a problem. Oh, Vapor Shadow, just a moment there, just took a little bit too much. And then here we go then through Parabolica, trying to get that slingshot, the high grip, high risk on the outside of the corner. Vapor Shadow, no big improvement, just P6 worthy time so far. Gearbook keeps on invalidating his times. I think Franco is just on a run at the moment for cooling down to get into the pits. Bobby's on a lap though, 47 thousandths of a second up. Bobby now a quarter of a second up on his time. This will see him up a couple of rows on the grid. Oh, some opposite lock on the way through the exit of Ascari. He still looked quite quick, but he knew he'd lost that early on and early enough to rescue it, so well held from Bobby. Getting the car down, short shift back up to 5th, I think. He dipped into 4th gear at one point, then a stretch out for the line, and a P5 for Bobby, up a couple of rows, and a 119.5, but he's got room to do better than that. I wonder if we might get a 118 tonight from the likes of Jarmo, Huberto Mancini. Let's ride with Huberto. Jarmo seems Dutch. Okay, that's an interesting observation. I think he is, but quite why he seems Dutch, just from his driving or his name, who knows. But anyway, Huberto then right out there in Ascari, but managed to just feather the throttle enough, but will be losing time all the way down the back straight here. I don't think this one is going to challenge for pole. Let's see what we've got. Ryan says because he's Dutch, he thinks he's recognised a fellow Dutchie. Huberto's not happy with that one at all. Tsunoda gets a new pole position at 119.131 versus Jarmo's 119.163. So the bar drops slightly from Tsunoda, but not enough this time out. Vapor Shadow won't go any faster on this lap, but I think he's just behind Jarmo on track. So might do us well to watch Jarmo instead for as long as Jarmo's up. Tsunoda definitely looking quick, if a little bit ragged tonight. Here comes Jarmo then. Oh, it's so pedestrian on the exit, but he hooked up both apexes and didn't make a mistake. So I think that's about all you can get out of that first chicane through Curva Grande, and he'll cross the timing beam 4 thousandths up on his previous best. Looked like he had good speed through Della Roggia. Now into Lesmo 1, turns the car around. Good night to Jarmo. There'll be nothing better than that happening. So no Jarmo on pole tonight. Tsunoda will be thanking his lucky stars that one just happened. But we have a slight lull where we wait for the cars to sort themselves back out again. I think it's just Salad just warming up the tyres. He's the only one on track. Everybody else has either crashed or lost. That was pretty close. Jibuk asking, why is everybody so fast around here? Well, it's kind of the aim of the game, but yeah, it must be a little bit disconcerting if you felt like you were at the front of the grid and now suddenly you're not. Yeah, Andy Aim in the chat says Rip Yamo. Indeed, that was a mistake. There's another wheel on the exit of in between the Lesmos, so that's Marshall's just leaving the wheels out there at the moment. Andy Aim, top first name, absolutely brilliant. So Salad just taking it easy, not wanting to put too much temperature into these soft tyres. And now what's he doing? Is he waiting for a gap? Is he inspecting that wheel? He's letting the McLaren go in front, and the Alpine, he just wants to benefit from the most amount of track evolution then, it looks like, towards the end of the sector. So he's just going to sit there on the back straight. Meanwhile, let's ride with Florian from P9. If he stays up on his time, we'll ride with him. If not, we'll head a bit further up in the grid. I want to see what Salad's got, what Vapor Shadow's got. Oh, was that a lockup or just an audio glitch from Florian? I think it was a small lockup on the way into the Retifilia chicane. So Florian is a 10th up on his time. Just patiently making it through Della Roggia. Tsunoda feeling very nervous out there on pole, but it's the best place to start the race, Tsunoda, so you can relax a little bit. Vapor Shadow we've lost, so another pole challenger has gone from this race, this qualifying session I should say, so early on. We've got a purple middle sector for Florian. He's got this one going well. What about Ascari? Not troubling the apex curves of Ascari, but he's on his way. Yeah, that looks quick through Parabolica, Alboreto, and heading down there for the line. Florian from P9. This one sees him straight up to pole. So what a fortunate thing that we were watching with him. And let's just quickly have a look. Is that Salad on a hot lap? About to finish a hot lap? It is. So Salad now in P7 next to his teammate. Salad then, no improvement, just 1/10 of a difference. His teammate is on a lap though. Let's see what Bobby's got, and just behind him I think we've got the Mercedes of either Jibuk or Huberto Mancini. Bobby from P8, no improvement. What about Huberto? A small improvement up to P4. Then Jibuk, a quarter of a second improvement, can't do better than 6th. And where is Franco? Everybody screams at me because they want to see Franco. So Franco then for the line from P6, straight up to pole with a 1:18.9. What a lap at the death of qualifying there. What an amazing lap for him. And I didn't see where Tsunoda came in at the end, but Franco with a lap right at the end. Beautiful stuff. Fantastic. And it looks like Salad was without ERS on his lap. So he was that was a shame for him, but Franco did get it in the end, and Tsunoda did not improve. Franco with the only time under a 1:19 from Florian, Tsunoda, Yamo, Huberto Mancini, Vapor Shadow, Jibuk, Salad, Bobby and Enro are your top 10. Then on free choice of tyres, Matty, Jan Raven and Jamie. The latter two did not set a time tonight, but I think we had the top 12 within a second of each other. So no complaints on that one. Looking good. Tsunoda started with 6 laps of fuel on his final lap. So that was another mistake, unfortunately. I think we've got sim damage on, so let's some encouragement to take it easy through the first few corners. But how about that pole lap there for Franco? Comes back to the championship and comes back with a bang in pole position. Brilliant stuff from Franco, and I think there's a lot of people on this grid who could get a good result out of today. There were a lot of people with different at different times at the front of the grid during qualifying, and anything can happen around Monza, and it usually does. IV Chad Twong, I'm not quite sure why you're shouting, but I'm sure everyone just misspelt Yarmo when they were asking for Yarno. But anyway, Franco will take the lead of the race at the line for AlphaTauri. Florian is with him on the front row with the inside run to the first corner, so that's always a bone of contention for the pole sitter. He would usually prefer the better one. Tsunoda is in third with Yarmo in fourth in the Haas. We've got a nice mix of liveries up to P6, all different cars, and then we've got the Red Bulls again, and this has happened a few times before. The Red Bulls all starting next to each other on the track. So further down then, and second in the championship is Huberto Mancini in the championship leading Mercedes with Jibuk. Then Vapor Shadow will start the first of and the only Williams tonight, despite those guys doing well in the championship so far. Then we've got the Red Bulls, 8th and 9th of Salad and Bobby. Enro in the other McLaren. All the top 10 starting on softs, as they have to. Whoa, Enro just almost getting it wrong. His weaving is quite extreme across this fairly narrow old school track in places. And then Matty, Jan Raven and Jamie will start on those medium tyres. Wow, a bit of a moment for Jan Raven as they just spear across the side of the track. A little bit too feisty with the warm-up of those tyres, and I think thankfully damage is off for the formation lap, because that was a little bit of a mistake, and I'm sure Jan Raven won't thank me for joining them on screen there. Roma asking what he gets if he guessed 8 finishes correctly. I said a huge amount of kudos comes to you, and you can spend that at will. So we're about to start our race. I cannot get a good camera angle. It's lights out, and away we go in F11 PSGL's Italian Grand Prix. Franco away beautifully. The Ferrari away behind him really well from the clean side of the track. It looks like the Ferrari going around the outside. Is this a Ferrari special in Monza? Got a little bit of boost off the line, and Tsunoda away like a scolded cat from the line in P3 and out there into the lead. 5/10 advantage already, as Franco needs to pay more attention in his mirrors than the car ahead. Looks like we're getting through Della Roggia. Okay, let's stay if we can with the drivers. See, we've got a little bit of side-by-side from the Alpines as they head into Lesmos. Jamie getting by Matty, so the Alpines cooperating so far. Enro's dropped back a couple of places because we know he started on the soft tyres. But up at the front, it looks like the Haas closing in on Florian, the Haas of Yarmo, and Huberto Mancini and Jibuk are locked together again in the Mercedes. Huberto had a pretty awful exit of Ascari, and he's letting his teammate by, but he wants to close off the attentions of Salad in the Red Bull behind him. Successfully navigates that one, and he'll try and tuck back up behind his teammate and use that to help him defend. Tsunoda, the first of our fastest laps tonight. Ignore, we've only had 1 lap, not 3. It's just that tower issue It looks like we've got a battle down at the lead though. Who have we got? The Ferrari and the AlphaTauri side by side, showing the world how to get through the Retifilia chicane without crashing. And he's got the inside line now for Franco, and Tsunoda just tucks in behind and lives to fight another day. It is officially lap 3. Franco is your leader from Tsunoda and Florian. Very close behind is Jarmo in the Haas. Jibuk a little bit further back with his teammate Huberto Mancini, who can see him, but is probably looking in his mirrors a little bit more at the moment. We've got blue flags, bizarrely, down the straight there. I think that's because of Enro's issue on the tower. Jay, yeah, absolutely, and thank you for helping out in the chat. There is a Constructors' Championship. Jarmo gets by on the back straight, and just risks a little bit of driving over that front wing, but gets through there just before DRS is enabled, so should get the benefit of this long straight to challenge the Ferrari, who has allowed Franco to get away on that lap. DRS now enabled, but of course not until the next zone on the way out of Loads Mode 2. So looks like Jarmo looking the raciest of the drivers at this stage. Coming around the outside of Curva Grande, that gives him the inside to Della Roggia, and will he stick with it? He will. The Ferrari of Tsunoda disappearing off, taking the correct route around Della Roggia if you can't get through, but he gets a 3-second time penalty. Well, that one seems pretty unfair for me. I think I'm not going to count that as an official penalty. He did do all the right things. Lucas is here, and the Argentinian flags are waving. Let me see some more Argentinian flags in the chat, because that was always good when we had Franco driving, when the chat filled up with Argentinian flags. Always good. Or you can fill up your chat with the flag of your choice, of course. We are an equally supportive of various drivers in their countries. There's no partiality here. Here goes Florian then in the McLaren. He's got a good slipstream. He's got DRS on Tsunoda. Can he get by? Whoa, Tsunoda flies past the Haas of Jarmo. I wonder what happened there. Jarmo was almost blended out the throttle. Was that purely based on DRS for the two cars behind, or was there an issue coming out of Parabolica for Jarmo? I think it's much more likely to be that one. Jay asks, can you contest penalties? Yes, we have stewards for exactly that reason. Particularly, I think, unserved penalties in the pits you can contest. That one looked a little bit rough on Tsunoda to me, so you can contest it later in the week, but it's unusual for penalties to be unawarded. We did have that one from our Spa race, and I believe I think it was Jarmo himself who got his 10-second penalty taken off, but he kept a 3-second penalty for other reasons. So it is possible to have the race results altered after the event, unfortunately, for the sake of our stream finality. I wondered, about the idea of doing some sort of Halloween event where you turn all the rules off. Oh, Tsunoda round on the exit of Parabolica Alboreto, and it looks like Franco as well. Franco and the Ferrari turn round on Parabolica. You'd have to imagine they came together. Franco electing not to go in the pits, hasn't burnt through his softs too much, but Tsunoda did enter the pits. So Franco down to P9 from the head of the race, and that's handing it to Jarmo at this stage. Drama out of nowhere. What's that? What's going on? You have to imagine they came together. Be unusual for them to spin at the same time, although I've seen it before. Unfortunately, we didn't catch that one. Jibuk and Huberto Mancini now up to P3 and P4. Jibuk very close now behind Florian. And yeah, we've got some broken hearts, some disappointed stuff. Yeah, my Halloween event idea was that we took all the rules off and made it a horror show and see what happens. But just let the drivers race. I don't know if that would be popular or not. Anyway, Jarmo is your leader on lap 5 with Florian second place, nearly a 10th behind, but we'll get DRS on this interval. I think he just caught it in time, followed by Jibuk and Huberto Mancini. I think Florian will be looking behind him at this point, because here comes Jibuk in the Mercedes. A little bit of Mercedes power down the straight, although of course I must reiterate to our newcomers in the chat that the cars are all on equal performance. Franco has retired from the session. Franco, what's happened? ¿Qué pasa? Let's see if we can see his car from Tsunoda's perspective. Did he lose it in Parabolica a second time round? Is it possible? I can't see him anywhere. Tsunoda comes in because we've got a safety car, so Tsunoda is wanting to take advantage of that. Jan Raven goes through, and we still haven't seen Franco's car or damage. The green light is on the safety car for Jan Raven, who will be able to pass it, but not yet, because there's only one width through there, and the safety car pulls off. Be on alert, drivers, if you come across the safety car. It always seems to hang around in the blind section after Curva Grande. I didn't see Franco. He must be on the exit of Retifilia, or his car's already been cleared by the marshals. So we have our first safety car. All those polystyrene boards are in place. I can't see where Franco went, unfortunately. So hopefully Franco will let us know, and I'll be able to let all of his fan club know what happened. We've got Jarmo in the pits from the lead. Jamie decides to go through and not pit, but then in comes Jibuk, Florian. Matty goes through because he's on the mediums, of course, and it's not a good time. Jibuk in the pits, Florian, Bobby, Huberto Mancini, Salad. Everyone on the soft tyres from the start has come in. It's a good time for them. Hard tyres will be difficult after the safety car. It'd be incredibly hard to get them warm with very few braking zones and very few high load corners until you hit Parabolica, really, for the drivers to generate heat. But they should last the remaining 20 laps of the race. I haven't heard from Franco yet. I hope to hear from him. If you're in touch with him, one of your fans, Franco, let me know what happened to your race, because we'd all love to know what went on. Firstly, in the Parabolica with Tsunoda, and secondly, what saw you disappear out of the race. Our first retirement on lap 7 in Monza. That's quite unusual. Tsunoda still with just that one penalty that I don't think counts at this stage. Just check that he hasn't doubled up or anything on that one. Oh, and there goes Enro. Just as I'm looking at penalties, Enro catches one for track limits, which is not an easy thing to do under the safety car, but if you're weaving around aggressively, it's certainly possible. And I know that last week we saw some problems with drivers getting too close to each other under the safety car, and we really do need to be patient under the safety car snake until the final moments. There's no need to get very close. Leave a good half a second to a second's gap, please, otherwise we have retirements or 5-second penalties for nothing contact between drivers. And here comes Salad then, P8 at the moment, but on hard tyres. Interesting to see Jibuk, Florian and Bobby go on to mediums, as well as Jarmo. So not a clear-cut one stop for them. I think they'll be stopping again at the end for softs. Jamie and Matty, as I mentioned before, didn't pit either. They're still on their starting medium tyres. I can put track map on. I just don't particularly like it in the race. I feel like it takes away, unless it's serving a purpose for us to find a retired driver or an issue. I tend to prefer to keep it off. But there's no requirement in PSGL to have the track map on. We kind of, it's given to us for free choice. And I personally prefer to see the game running without it. It feels a little bit more like a broadcast without the map. Just my personal opinion. Anyway, Jamie then is your leader under the safety car, but your real leader, I suppose, having made one pit stop. A brake failure for Franco, he says. So I wonder if that's on his rig or on the car itself, or his controller. I've seen drivers who claim at least that their trigger button, R2 button, has failed on them. Safety car will be on his way in, and we will have Jarmo, the first of the pitted drivers, who inherited the lead after Tsunoda and Franco came together. But it's the onus is now on Jamie. When does Jamie decide to go? Jarmo taking a wide line, and of course those hard runners really need to get as much heat in their tyres as possible, whereas Jamie and Matty will be interested really only in starting this at the very last possible moment. They could coordinate this, but Jarmo is double stacking. I'm not sure how the game feels about that, but Jarmo's already got one of the Alpines, as we see Gibbert getting the inside line. We're going 3, possibly 4 wide into the Retifilia, but everybody giving good racing room, so bravo to the drivers. Gibbert spears off just as I say that. He and Jarmo collide. Gibbert out the race, 1 corner off the car. I will wait till they get through there before I say that ever again about racing room. Jarmo then up to P2, somewhat controversial nature by contact with Gibbert, and Gibbert is out. Probably wouldn't do yourself any favours to take out the session host and one of the league coordinators, but damage is done for Jarmo, and all he can do now is maximise his race result. He's gapped Matty significantly after that issue with Gibbert. Bobby's gone, Gibbert's gone. They're dropping like flies on lap 9. We have a VSC for whatever happened to Bobby, and the race should be neutralised, although we have seen drivers manage to get through and make a small advantage gain. As you can imagine, Gibbert in the Discord chat not happy about the actions of Jarmo. So I'm sure there will be a steward report going in, because so far no steward investigation from the game on the contact with Jarmo on the restart, being very generous to him. I'd love to know what happened to Bobby. Hopefully he'll inform us. We weren't watching the tail of the field where Bobby was at the time, but we're down to 10 runners, so points for everybody. No voluntary retirements, please, folks. I really hope everybody can keep running through the race. VSC lasting a long time here. Let's see if we can have a look and see where Bobby might be. I think the car's already been cleared, so we should be back to racing speed very soon. Now that it appears that that Bobby's car has been recovered. As we wait for green flag racing, we're back on, and the cars, some of them benefiting from that. I think possibly Jarmo gained a small amount, and look, he's now 1/10 behind. He doesn't really want to pass into Parabolica because he will be vulnerable all the way down the start-finish straight. I can't remember if they get DRS. They do get DRS immediately, so I think that's different in real life. I think they said 2 laps after a safety car restart or VSC, but anyway, Jarmo navigating the Retifilia chicane safely. Gibbert says he's lucky that he didn't save his gameplay. There will be the stream, Gibbert. You could use the stream. We saw it, and it was outside of the car, so you had a pretty good idea as Jarmo comes down the outside of Della Roggia, and a good car positioning from Jamie, who is not happy at this point to let Jarmo by, despite the different strategies. Jamie preferring at this stage to hang on to his track position. Ryanma says a racing incident. Well, we'll see. We'll see. how the stewards tackle it. So Franco said actually instead of brake failure, I think he said he didn't calculate the Red Bulls braking correctly. I think he means the AlphaTauri because sorry, the Tsunoda, because it was those two that we thought came together. Maybe Tsunoda was just caught up in that issue, but you can see that Tsunoda with that VSC and the safety car has actually managed to make back up those places, and he's back up to P4 now, challenging for P3, coming down the start finish straight. And keep an eye on the drivers in front of these two, only just allowing a car width from Matti, but Tsunoda gets by. Jarmo did not manage to get by because again Jamie putting up a beautiful defence into Retifilia, and he's going to have to do it all again. He doesn't want to give any quarter, but this time Jarmo is going to get the inside line. Can Jamie hold on around the outside? He sweeps across the wing, gets the inside line for the next corner, and Jarmo is forced to let off the accelerator. Again, I think that's good driving standards from both cars, avoiding an incident. And I'll make a non-spoiler comment just to say that avoiding incidents and race-ending damage pretty important in F1. But now we have Tsunoda having got fresher tyres, and DRS has just breezed into the lead past Jamie. While Jarmo struggles to get by Jamie, Tsunoda had a beautiful run out of the Lesmos and has just screamed past. This time, Jarmo tries the underlap underneath Jamie into Parabolica Alboreto, and doesn't get the job done. Waits for DRS, but the Alpine will get DRS against Tsunoda. Jarmo will get the DRS against Tsunoda as well. A little bit of rubbing wheels. That wasn't good enough racing room at all. I'm not sure where Tsunoda expected Jarmo to go, but Jarmo did not yield, and they both risked significant damage there. That was crazy. We've got a claim from Florian against Vapor Shadow. So Florian we've lost from the race, claiming that Vapor Shadow turned into him. But anyway, we have a race on our hands. We've lost Jan Raven. What's happened to Jan Raven, I wonder? Let's see where is the driver currently. On the exit of Della Roggia, and another safety car. There we see the damage. It looks like one of the wheels has been displaced from Jan Raven's car, and we go for another safety car. Now this could be a good moment for Matti and Jamie to pit. They may end up double stacked in the pits. Yeah. So we're down now to the 8 runners that Ryan predicted. It's early days yet though, we're not quite at half distance. There's Jamie comes into the pits. What does his teammate do? Also in the pits. Will we see some stacking as Salad comes in behind as well? And then, so Salad on only 5 lap old hards decides to pit at this stage. I think, will Jamie get there in time? Just avoided a double stack, or at least a significant double stack, but he's going to lose a place to Salad. He's going to lose a place to Huberto Mancini in the pits as well. Those guys putting on medium tyres, aiming to get to the end of this race, I think. Of course, Jamie did not have that option. He could have chosen hards, but instead he's gone for softs. So almost certainly going to try and see this race out with another stop after this point. And again, the Alpine team not really coordinating their efforts. They've both chosen the same strategy, so we'll end up on the same pit lap in later in the race. I don't see the drivers getting 15, maybe 14 racing laps out of soft tyres. Looked like they were struggling on 14 laps on the mediums, so I think that's unlikely. So Jarmo asking if he's actually invisible. Is this a dream? Is he ghosted? Can the other drivers see him? I think they can. I think they can. That heart is bright and prominent in the mirrors. Unfortunately, Jarmo not necessarily giving the kind of racing room you're expecting. I don't know if Jibuk is laughing into his drink at the moment, just shaking his head. We'll see. Maybe he'll let us know. Bobby's saying, I am stupid. I am so stupid. How he spun. It's very easily done, and you have to say around a track like Monza in F1 2021, credit to any driver that can keep it pointing in the right direction, because it is fiendishly difficult. The curbs are covered in oil, and when you get cold tyres and greasy curbs, it does make for a perilous race around the track. So safety car killing the rhythm, says Ryan. Yeah, the safety car does kill drivers' rhythm, but of course it's a feature of the game. It's something that drivers certainly won't find new. I think we've seen a safety car in every previous race of F11, and probably 85% of the races I've covered this season on the new game. So it's hardly unusual. Drivers certainly wouldn't claim to be surprised by safety cars. But I imagine we will see the lights go out this lap. And on lap 15, with 13 to go, we've got Tsunoda in the lead from Jarmo. Tsunoda's already spun, remember, of course, and is back up to the lead. Then there's Jamie in the Alpine in third, on soft tyres. Should be fast at the start. We'll need to preserve tyres. Followed by Vapor Shadow in the Williams, and we've got the Red Bull of Salad, Huberto Mancini. We have lost both McLarens. Enro disappeared on us. I'm not sure how. So unfortunately for Ryan, no problem there. I didn't see the crash, unfortunately. Enro crashed under the safety car. Yeah, I've seen that before, unfortunately. I didn't see it this time, but Enro out, and both McLarens will not take any further part in this Monza Grand Prix. Claims that it was Ericsson. There was a piece of damage disappeared there. What on earth is going on as Jarmo screams past everybody, and so does the Williams of Vapor Shadow. How did he get that overlap? He must have timed that absolutely perfectly. Vapor Shadow from about 4th or 5th, screaming into the lead. Is he going to have to give the places back? He is. That won't do him any favours. He's just speared across the track and is crashed out of the race on lap 16. No more laps for Vapor Shadow despite that restart, that heaven-sent restart, really. Jamie gets back into the lead. Jarmo has gone backwards over the last couple of laps. Jamie on soft tyres will be able to manage his own pace here. Still got a yellow flag in sector 1. Will we avoid another caution period? I think we will. I don't quite know who to thank, the racing gods, for that one, because that one was pretty inexplicable. It's almost like he got a penalty, had to give the place back, distracted, lost the car on the exit. This is no racing room for the Alpine given to Jarmo, and the Alpine of Matti ghosted. Oh dear, guys, this is not looking good. That wasn't safe racing at all, and I think Jarmo racing around right now with no front wing. He's got to be wondering how many people are going to bang into him tonight. Gets the car stopped into the pits. There's still good points on offer for our teams, and there's still 10 laps to go, so wouldn't be a great idea to quit out on us now. Please don't. We want to see all of these guys to the finish if we can. We've got 6 left on lap 17. Jamie, Tsunoda, Salad, Huberto Mancini, Matti and Jarmo are left running. We lost Vapor Shadow, Enro, Jan Raven, Florian, Bobby, Jibuk and Franco in the reverse of the order I just read them out. Further down, Toss My Salad is just under a second behind Tsunoda for second place this battle. I have no idea how Matti survived that particular issue, but he really should have given a little bit more room in Ascari if he wanted to avoid that situation. I didn't get a full read on exactly whether Jarmo was completely at fault with Jibuk. I felt he probably was, but he's had a lot of payback already from different drivers, and perhaps didn't deserve quite the whipping he's received from the rest of the field at this point. Salad, the closest car to a car in front at this point, as the gaps start to open up after that restart. Obviously we had some drama, and unfortunately that's the way Monza goes often in this game. I'd love to know, in terms of percentage, how high a percentage of finishes you've seen in other rounds. Uvati has come in, left an insult and disappeared, but I welcome people who are willing to fling out insults to try it out for themselves, and show us their race director of a league race around Monza. It's like I said before, incredibly difficult, and nothing taken away from the 6 drivers still on track, because it's such a challenge to keep the car in the right direction, keep your rhythm after safety cars, as we mentioned there as well. But Jamie, he's got a 2.6 second lead at this point, and he's going to try and get those soft tyres to the end, unless there's a safety car and he can get a cheap pit stop. Yeah, Ryan's saying that he's seen a total of 3 finishes in a league higher than his. Yeah, I've seen 3 as well. I think 3 is my lowest, but I'm just wondering who's got the highest finishing rate, because if someone's got something in the 70 or 80%, that would be a huge surprise for me. The one thing to say, if you're feeling demotivated by people's pace, is that it often pays to be a little bit slower, a little bit more circumspect, give racing room, and be there to pick up the pieces at the end, because a lot of our drivers will be finding that while they've got blinding pace on when the sun is shining and the tyres are fresh, as things start to degrade, if they've done a lot of time trial practice, they will be surprised by the changing conditions, the changing weight of the car, the changing grip levels. The only way to practice racing is to practice racing, and league racing is a little bit different to racing against AI as well. So the drivers who survive races for the longest and are getting the most laps out of this season I think will be the ones that are there at the end to pick up the highest points and potential promotion to F10, even F9. We've seen a couple of promotion of double division promotions in the past. So it's lap 20, and Andy says in the chat that his lap time is 1:19.3. That would have got you, I think, row 4 or perhaps position 4 or 5 on tonight's grid. So that's not shabby, but it's all about your total race pace when it comes down to it. And that's the only thing that matters. These drivers have put in huge amounts of practice, as Ryan acknowledges, and we have a very evenly spaced bunch of drivers at the moment. Just over 2 seconds separates Jamie from Tsunoda, from Salad, from Huberto Mancini, and then 8.6 seconds back is Matti, and 24 seconds back from them is Jarmo, who I think is going to be on a fastest lap run at this point. Nothing to lose, and only the fastest lap time to gain. I think he just caught one. Should we have a look at fastest laps? I have to say, one of the big nods of respect should go to our drivers for the lack of penalties as well. Tsunoda, I think, still only got that penalty he got incorrectly, in my humble opinion. I know he got a 5-second penalty as well, so he may get 3 seconds discounted from that. So pole tonight was a 1:18.9 for Franco, but unfortunately he dipped out. Jarmo, we just watched go across the apex of Ascari and catch another penalty, so definitely Jarmo is on a glory run for fastest lap. A 1:20.8 is the best so far, and unless anybody else has to pit for softs at the end, I don't see anybody matching his pace. We know he's got pace in spades, but unfortunately for him, there won't be any he's drifting further away from the 5th place man. Let's go back to our intervals and tyres, and we'll have a look then at these soft tyres that have got another 6 laps to run, and that they are 6 laps old for Jamie and for Matty, the 2 Alpines who stopped under the safety car period. Yeah, these guys are driving clean, at least in terms of track limits. Perhaps not super clean in terms of contact and racing room. We've seen a few problems, but this track, remember, it just encourages drivers to have a go. They can close up. You can see the top 4 on the same start-finish straight. The drivers will close up easily, perhaps a little too easily on the game versus real life. The DRS and ERS elements are a little bit OP, I think, still around Monza. Although it's very similar to Formula 2 that we saw in the race today, I suppose. And they always end up in the same parts of track, just challenging each other. They tend not to drift apart too much. We've got some big gaps at the moment, though. I think Huberto Mancini on the medium tyres is closing in on a podium tonight. Tsunoda has at least 5 seconds of penalties that will get applied, so there will be an asterisk next to Tsunoda's name. He may end up 3 seconds further up the grid in the week to come after the stewards' inquiries, if he manages to avoid another one. But at the moment he's got 8 seconds to pay, and Yamo's just clocking them up as he goes for fastest lap, and sweats the time trial approach to try and get that fastest lap point added to his 6th place tonight. Vapor saying he didn't think he'd make contact with anybody, despite the claim of, I think, Florian, that it was Vapor Shadow who was at fault for his crash, but who can say? So lap 23, Jamie has the lead and has got a 3-second gap to the 2nd place, a net almost 6-second gap to 3rd place, which is the one he'll need to be worried about most. So he can afford to throttle off, he can afford to treat those tyres carefully and try and drag them to the end. We may get ourselves close to 60 or 70% for Jamie on those laps. I'll try and stay with him and see if we can get a tyre comparison graphic, which I do like, but we tend to have to ride for a while with 2 drivers. Looks like Tsunoda just closing slightly now, as his mediums are probably in slightly better shape than Jamie's softs, but there won't be a lot in it. 16 laps for Tsunoda, 8 laps on the softs for Jamie. Jamie cruising on to try and get this victory, 4/10 slower than his best time, and the gap opens again slightly. Huberto Mancini's acceleration towards the back of Salad has slowed slightly, 1.8 seconds now, that gap. Tsunoda's driven a great race, given that he spun in Parabolica through mysterious circumstances at exactly the same time as Franco. Tsunoda's rescued this race no end, and he had terrific pace in qualifying as well, and it wasn't a fluke. It was obviously underlying pace for Tsunoda in the Ferrari. So keeping the crowd happy with see a Ferrari on the podium if he can hold off the rest of the drivers with these penalties later on. Difficult to say. Brian expecting a change in the pace of the cars and kill all the time trials in the patch on Tuesday. It's possible, I suppose. Yeah, I think it's difficult when it comes to getting the right balance of DRS and ERS, I think, and the dirty air effect. There's definitely some dirty air, and I agree with Ryan that the dirty air effect is not particularly pronounced in the game, but I think Codemasters would get even more complaints about the game mechanics if every time someone tried to follow someone through Curva Grande they spun off, which would be a relatively accurate portrayal of the cars through fast corners without the skills of real life F1 drivers. So I think it's obviously a really difficult thing. As soon as the game is too hard, people moan, and if it's too easy, people moan. It's such a difficult balancing act, but obviously the difference in difficulty levels between this game and the previous game are very pronounced. It's not very gradual. I think we're all hoping to see a new track appear, you know, one of the tracks that we paid for, and we were supposed to get instead of all the classic cars. But yeah, Codemasters tight-lipped at the moment. I think we'd all far rather get a game with less glitches than new tracks, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. So Tsunoda now 3.6 seconds, make that a net 11.6 seconds after these penalties are paid back. Jamie starting his penultimate lap. Jarmo's come in for new softs, so Jarmo will be going for another fastest lap at the best possible time for his the track evolution. Jamie a healthy amount of seconds ahead of his next rival, who will be Salad. Jamie hasn't seen amazing results so far in the championship, so this one is going to help him no end. I'm sure he'll be pleased about that. I mean, Reimer, I agree that that fixing the glitches should be priority number one, but I don't think it is in Codemasters. I mean, they still hadn't fixed a lot of the F1 2020 glitches. We were still experiencing issues with lobbies and things. I think it's still the case. I haven't been back on the game, but I think it's still the case that those glitches still exist and were never fixed. There we go, 119.538 for Jarmo, which would have put him quite near the front half of the field in qualifying. So on a virtually empty car, running on fumes now, with high track evolution, Jarmo sets a scorching fastest lap. I doubt he'll even be happy with that one. I think he'll go again for his next attempt, but definitely fastest lap for Jarmo. I don't see anybody else doing it. Let's ride with Jamie though, if no one else is going to be racing particularly close to anybody else, and see how these tyres are feeling for Jamie on his final lap. Look at the tyre marks on the way into Retifilia. That's pretty neat. I like that. I think we've had a race that had a double stream end and restart in this very division, so that's common. I think it's stabilised a little bit lately. Jamie still getting the car neatly into Lesmo 1, runs wide through Lesmo 2. 20 laps on those medium tyres for Tsunoda. These tyres on Jamie is looking okay right now. What about Tsunoda? I think he'll limp home to the end, but he'll certainly have 5 seconds of penalties that he'll want, that he'll end up having applied. It might be 8, and that will see him disappear off the podium. Jamie then heading down to Parabolica Alboreto for the final time in this Monza race. He's managed to keep his head while everybody else had issues. Jamie from the back of the grid failed qualifying but went on to win the race. Jamie takes the win in Monza. Terrific race for him. Salad gets second place in the Red Bull. Huberto Mancini for Mercedes will help them with their quest for the Constructors' Championship. Tsunoda, I think, will end up classified in 4th or possibly 5th as the second Alpine comes across the line, and does so in 5th. And then Jarmo, let's take a look at Jarmo's current fastest lap at 1:19.5. Is he going to get it? Is he going to drop the bar even further than that? Let's see. Lots of congratulations for Jamie, and rightly so, from the back of the grid, back of a 13-car grid, I should just add, to take the win. Did a brilliant job tonight. Cracking drive. I hope he posts that everywhere on socials, because that one worked beautifully. Congratulations, and someone claiming that we're going to have an all-Welsh podium. We'll see when the flags come up if anyone's chosen the Jamie's well happy. There he is, cheering away in the chat. Simply lovely from Jamie. He's chatting on two avenues at once. Lifts the trophy then for the Alpine team. Beautiful drive from Jamie. Congratulations. And the champagne time. Yeah, definitely well worth it. Jamie has got the Spanish flag on the on his lap and looks to be wearing Carlos Sainz's face or a facsimile of it. But there's Jamie, your winner for Spain in the Alpine from 13th on the grid. Great drive from Jamie with Tosmo Salad and Huberto Mancini for Red Bull and Mercedes respectively from 8th and 5th. In 2nd and 3rd place. Then we've got Tsunoda, who may be challenging one of those penalties, potentially the 3-second one. Tsunoda in 4th currently, followed by Matti. Jarmo in the Haas got 6th after a very dramatic race and the fastest lap. Then our non-finishers were Vapor Shadow, Enro, Jan Raven, Florian, Bobby, Gibbuk, and unfortunately we lost Franco pretty early on after a couple of issues. There for everybody. Salad saying Welsh 1, 2, 3. Well, yes, I think Jamie driving with the Spanish and Carlos Sainz face. I think that's one of those unfortunate glitches. I'll be happy to do interviews if you guys want them. I can have a go at that. Let me see if I can get Jamie into a party if possible. Bear with me on the stream. I'll be a moment just trying to get hold of that one, and you'll lose the screen. But I'll stay with the stream. So try not to panic. Stay with me, and I'll try and get our drivers on possible. Let me see what I can do. See if I can add Jamie to try and get him in. Jamie, if you're on your way, please make sure you set your broadcast, your party audio settings to share, if at all possible, and I'll try and get Huberto as well. And remind me, it was Salad, wasn't it, who came 2nd place? I'm going to do my best to get hold of those. Jamie, you join us. You join us in the chat. Just to double check, you check those settings for me. Otherwise, it'll just be a chat with me, and the stream won't hear you. Awesome. Well, everyone will let us know if it's just me. But anyway, Jamie, congratulations. That was quite a drive. No. Second win in 3 years. Wow, that's cool. Okay, I'm trying to get back in, but the game is glitching on me. So I'm hoping to get back on the menu. They can usually hear me. Oh, it just keeps going back to your screen. Give me a second. I'm trying my best to get back in to the game. Come on, people. Okay, I think we're back on. We're back on. You were just saying it's your first win in 3 years?
Yeah. second win in 3 years. I got my
Second in
first
three
one
years.
on
Wow.
2019. Yeah, that came at Spa, so he can repeat the famous David Croft, the Charles Leclerc commentary line when he won at Monza himself. So yeah, he definitely came as I wasn't expecting it for sure,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's definitely the kick in the arse. I don't know if I should say that on stream, that my career needed to, and the season needed as well, and it's great for the team as well with Alpine. Um,
Yeah, we saw
yeah,
you. We saw you close to Matty at the start of the race. Were you? Did you arrange anything together? You were also on the same pit strategy, so it looked like perhaps you weren't coordinating particularly well with each other.
yeah, I don't usually speak to Matty that often. I don't speak to him in parties during races. I just go with my
Yeah,
own strategy, and it just happened to be that we had the same strategy and pitted on the same lap. So yeah, I think he must have fell off at the end. I don't really know what happened because he was there when before we pitted, when we was on mediums fighting for the lead with those guys.
yeah.
I don't know if he got damaged or something from a crash, but I definitely avoided my fair share of couple as well. A couple of cars went off in front of me, bits of debris and stuff. Saw
Yeah,
someone bin it on the safety car, someone bin it on the restart. So yeah, it was definitely eventful.
it was drama, wasn't it?
But
We had fewer finishers than non-finishers, but we got away with six at the end from a 13 driver starting grid, which I'll take any day from round Monza, frankly. But yeah, great
yeah,
for you, great for the league, great for Alpine. A fantastic drive right from the back of the grid. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, and thanks for joining us on stream. Even though you were officially representing Spain tonight, but I don't think
Yeah,
you sound
if I
Spanish.
yeah, um, yeah, I hope they fix that glitch soon. It's one that's annoying me a bit because yeah, there's other leagues I'm in as well that arrange all these things and I can't show it because of that glitch. So
Yeah,
I hope they fix it in the next update or something.
oh, definitely. Could you do me a favor and see if you can invite Salad because I'm not friends with him and I've just searched for him and I can't find him on PSN. If you can try
Um,
and invite him for me to this party, that would be useful. But if you're not friends, then that won't be possible.
yeah, I'm not friends with many people in this division, and I
Ah,
don't
no
think
worries.
I'm friends with them.
Well, he did say that that's an all Welsh podium, so
Yeah,
that's got to be good news.
I can try and add him to the voice chat by
Well,
searching his name up.
yeah, I tried to search. Just might be one of those people who's not searchable. I know that some people can set it up like that, including
There you go.
Jibuk, one of our league, one of our league person. Yamo wants to chat. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I got him
everyone will
there.
want to hear from. Here comes Stars My Salad. Hopefully, I did invite Huberto, but I don't think he's going to show. Salad, uh, congratulations on a podium. Were you expecting that midway through the race?
I think well, before the race, I'd say no, but midway through, I think my hopes got higher and higher as each person went into the wall.
Yes.
Um, but I'm more surprised that I didn't crash at Ascari, to be honest.
Yeah. Did it get
Yeah,
hairy when the tires were fading off tonight, or were you sort of anticipating it and not running it too marginal?
I think, to be honest, my tires weren't too bad. I think they were only at like 35 or something. So they were a bit slippy, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. And any issues for you under the safety cars with people getting too close or not close enough to the cars
Um,
ahead or anything?
well, someone hit me, which caused the safety car, and I think someone passed me, like two people passed me before the finish line. So I'm gonna have a look. I haven't really checked them yet, but
Yeah, I think that the final restart we had, I think it was one of the Williams that just Vapor Shadow just screamed past everybody on the start finish straight,
yeah,
and then binned it about three corners later. It was absolutely bizarre. I thought
yeah.
he'd been told to let the places back and kind of got distracted potentially. But yeah, that one took me by surprise. I was sitting there in third place with Yamo's car, and suddenly this Williams screams past on the outside. But yeah, very very strange.
Yeah, the yellows were definitely still out when he did that, and I think it is a
Right.
PSGL rule that you're not allowed to overtake before the start-finish line. So I don't know what
Yeah,
the
I
repercussions will be
I
for that.
just had that clarified with one of the stewards as well. So
Excellent. So doing a Jonathan Wheatley, excuse me, Michael, can we just
yeah,
talk about, yeah, excellent. Good stuff. Well, you got a good result out of it in the end, and this will definitely help your championship. You were up there already in second or third place before this race, and without
yeah.
Phase Max taking part, that must be good news for you at the moment.
Yeah, I've already been at the calculator, and I've gone from fourth to second, and I'm now 10 points behind Phase Max. So
Fantastic. Well, do me a favour. If you get into first place in the championship, or you get back on the podium again, get yourself a better microphone because you still sound
yeah,
like you're talking through gravel to me. So.
yeah. I think it's my headphones don't have a microphone, so I'm talking to the controller. So
Okay.
it's not great.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to the both of you and to Wales, of course, for an all-Welsh podium, as you pointed out, Salad. Um, brilliant race around Monza. I'll say goodnight to everybody shortly, but very grateful that you stopped by for interviews. Apologies to the stream for the difficulty in navigating screens on my own without a co-commentator to do all the kind of admin for me, but we got there in the end. A little bit of chat going on the Discord, but nothing necessarily repeatable or particularly informative. Just kind of mostly insults and stuff. But anyway, I won't go too deeply into that. If you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, please give us a like on the video. Really helps. Please subscribe to the PSGL channel, and you can see I think 15 or 16 different divisions of racing throughout the week. If you like what you see, but make sure you set yourself an appointment to tune in on 7 p.m. on a Sunday night for us on F11, and we will all catch you on the next race day.